On today's show, Toushanta Hogan talks tips to a winning start in entrepreneurship. Suzanne Vaughn talks converting kindness to happiness. Carolyn Chanese is all talk about Confliction, her new single, and her real life. But first, get to know Blessed Gal's owner, Sannecia Davis. She's an incredible entrepreneur with a dedication to overcoming life's most challenging obstacles and making her own contribution to the world of fashion. Today on the Chundria Show, get to know Sannecia Davis, mother, entrepreneur, survivor, as she tells her own inspirational story of triumph.
Hello, my name is Sannecia Davis, owner of Blessed Gals, creative director of Fire on the Runway. Blessed Gals started from a vision I had about 4 years ago, taking my stories and putting them into fashion and starting a motivational t-shirt line. The motivational t-shirt line started from a drug addiction that I battled for almost about 10 years, causing me to lose everything I loved, worked for, my family, my children. It even caused me to lose myself. During my addiction, I began to pray a lot. I began to pray. I was just getting really, really tired of the stress and the struggles that I was constantly going through. I began to take my stories and turn it into fashion. As I began to take my fashion, I put it on the runway, which that's how Fire on the Runway was started. My lowest points in life was being an addict. You know, who wants to be an addict? Being in and out of the jail system, not being able to touch and feel my children, just being out living reckless was my lowest points in life. And how I overcame them was just by remaining to have faith and praying to God and knowing that God was going to deliver me. When I tell people I don't look like what I've been through, I really feel like during those times I was walking and living in hell. I went through a fire and I came out of the fire not smelling like smoke. For someone that's going through a storm right now, I would tell them to keep your head up, never lose faith, never lose hope. God has your back, and just to stay strong. For more information on how to contact Blessed Gals, you can email Blessed Gals at blessedgals01@gmail.com.
Hello, hello. I'm excited to feature Toushanta Hogan on my show today. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm good.
You are the owner and entrepreneur. You started your business, Sensational Soaps. Tell me
Yes.
more about yourself and why did you start
So
it?
I'm Toushanta Hogan of Sensational Soaps. I started my business in 2007. I went to Cal State University, Dominguez Hills, and I could not find a job. So after graduating, that's when the economy was really bad, and I decided to start Sensational Soaps. And really what I started was with my children playing with soap and so forth, and then I saw that this was an opportunity to open a business. It was a young lady who said, Toushanta, I noticed you do melt and pour soap, but I don't see cold processed soap. Can you make that? I was like, yes, I can make that. Really couldn't. And it took me 60 days to deliver that wholesale order, and that was at Topanga Plaza Mall, and so it took forever. However, I realized, like, wow, this can be something that I can grow from. It was a $2,500 order, and she gave me half the money up front. So I was like, I'm gonna learn this today.
I would have said yes too.
Right. So that's how it started.
Wow. Okay, so tell me about the line. What do you offer?
So we have soap, we have sugar scrubs, we have body butters, we have body mist, and we just recently came out with the men's line.
Ooh.
So the men's line is more luxurious for our men. Yeah.
Okay. And so, are there particular ingredients that you use?
So our soaps are palm-free, vegan-friendly, cruelty-free. So there's no palm oil within the soaps. We use shea butter, coconut oil, olive oil. So that's our base for our soap line. So we make sure that we are vegan and health conscious towards our consumer.
Oh, I love that. You talked about what sparked your interest was, the decline in the economy.
Right.
Why did you name it Sensational Soaps?
I came out with a few names and titles, and that one just hit. Like, it was like, okay, I need to really brand this with scent. So I don't want no one to get something that has no scent unless I purposely say that there's no scent in this soap, which is like oatmeal soap. So that's what.
Or no perfumes or dyes or anything
exactly.
like that. Okay.
So sensational. It just rung a bell.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about entrepreneurship, and why do you encourage it?
Oh my God, it's so many things. It's freedom. It's the opportunities like this one here. It's meeting people. It's learning lessons and receiving the blessings. So it's so many things. It's a plethora of things of why I really enjoy. But I believe the number one would be freedom, because I can't put a price on that. As my kids were growing, they were 2 years old and 4 years old at the time. And so I was able to attend all of their functions for school without even asking an employer, could I take off for that? So that in itself was just key.
You ask yourself, can you take off because you're the boss?
Right.
What do you consider some best kept secrets for launching a business?
I believe research is very important. Do your research, do your homework. Make sure you are basically marketing towards your target audience, especially when you're dealing with a basic line and a luxe line. Know the difference and know where you can find those people with your target audience. Don't go out and just say, oh, I'm just going to just do anything. Just have a strategy for everything that you do and be intentional.
I love that you said you weren't experienced in the business at first and you still took that leap, you know, and I think that's like really awesome and can be an inspiration to someone who, you know, there are so many business ideas and sometimes we feel like, oh, let me stick to what I know, or let me stick to an industry that I'm familiar with, when there's a plethora of things that you could jump into. So I love that.
Thank you.
You took that leap.
Thank you.
I have that $25 order, $2,500 order, and I'm going to charge for it. What skill set does an entrepreneur have to have?
I believe that you definitely have to have patience, because there's going to be hard days, low days, and dry days. And there's going to be some high days as well. So definitely have patience when building a business. I believe that you definitely have to have the mindset, and you have to make sure that you have communication skills, you have to have customer service skills, and people skills as well, because you are building relationships. Because anyone can make soap, but it's you that makes the difference with each person. So I believe that those are the key factors that is the skill set and mindset that you need for building a business.
Alrighty. What advice do you have for someone who has no business experience whatsoever, no corporate experience, you know, like, because I feel like anyone can be an entrepreneur. It just takes a certain skill set that either you already have in you or you know,
so
when I
finished school at Cal State Dominguez, my major was business management.
Okay.
However, I had no business. No one in my family had a business, so I had no one to look or glean information from. So it was basically black and white in school, but you learn by doing. I've had many, many failures. And so by me learning by doing and keep staying focused on what my why was, it allowed me to understand, okay, this is way bigger than myself. It's way more than soap. It's way more than sugar scrubs and so forth. This information I can transfer to other people. I can transfer to my daughter and so forth. But I believe that you really have to have the wherewithal. Like, you can't start a business and then think that something's going to pop within 2 years. You need to stick with it. But you really have to tell yourself, you know what, I see and I know that there is something more that's coming at the end of this road.
So a positive attitude.
Right.
You have to be optimistic.
Definitely positive attitude, optimistic. You have to talk to yourself every morning, even when you don't want to do it. You still have to do it. It's some things that I don't like within my business that I don't want to do.
Like. I want to know. Tell me something you don't like doing.
A lot of things I don't like doing. I don't like having to make, like, literally make 400 pounds of soap at one time. I don't like doing that. I like making like small batches and so forth. So the restock of that is a lot, but I do it anyway because, you know, I know that there's people out there that are counting on me, not to mention that there's orders coming in. So I still do it.
How long does it take to do that?
It's a process. So what I normally do is master batch. They call it master batching, where you pre-measure all of your oils, and then after that you start melting your oils down, and then you have to wait until the live water cools down. So it's an entire process. Like literally, I have to wait and make sure that I have at least 3 to 4 hours.
I'm so enamored by you that you didn't know how to do this at one time, and now you're a super pro, batching it up in the kitchen.
Right.
Yeah, I'll take that $2,500 order. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm about to figure it out. Like, that is hilarious to me. Like, that is unbelievable. And then you made money. Like, entrepreneurship is real. This is a fine example of true entrepreneurship. My goodness. Hello, hello. I'm excited to have Suzanne Vaughn on my show today. She's the CEO of Grant Writing at its finest. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling today?
I'm excited.
Yay! Today we're going to talk about converting kindness to happiness, and I thought who better to talk about this subject than a person who helps nonprofit organizations get launched and started. So tell me about yourself and your business.
Okay, well, I've been doing Grant Writing at its finest for 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It started 6 years ago when I was on the journey of launching my own nonprofit organization for single moms.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to school, took up classes like grant writing, fundraising, things to be better equipped, and so that when I launched mine, I was going to know what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But that never happened because once others found out that I had this new skill set, so they reached out to me for help with theirs. So I've been helping them with startups, grant writing, fundraising, board development, providing sustainability strategies so that they can grow, not just be at the stand-up point, but actually go somewhere with that and bring in revenue. So that's what my business does.
Yay, that's awesome. You've made a business out of helping other people, which is fantastic. Let's talk about kindness. People can be so self-absorbed more often than not. How can we get people to be less focused on themselves?
Well, ideally we would want people to just step out and do something that's going to make a difference, but we really have to depend on the people who have been placed with this calling on their lives, because those are the people that's actually going to go out and take the step. So what I like to do is encourage those to just go ahead and step out on purpose. I also have a women's brand, and the focus is to purposely walk in, fearlessly. So just encourage the ones that actually want to do something else, because not everybody's gonna go and start a non-profit organization and look for grants and do fundraising events. Not everyone's gonna do that, but it's the ones that have this on their heart that they need to just do something about this, about whatever it is that they feel is necessary.
To feel compelled. If you're led, then, so I guess the petition would be to follow your calling if you're led to help more people, in a sense.
Yeah.
In your opinion, why is it so important to be kinder and live happier lives? Do you connect kindness to happiness personally?
Yes, of course, because I feel that when you are doing an act of kindness, you're actually making the difference, or you're making the change in someone's life. So what I like to do when I have women empowerment events, and what I like to do is raffle off 3 services which can help a woman start their business. And these services they value around $600 to $1,000.
Oh, wow.
But it's really to help them get going with their business. And, some of them take advantage of it, some of them don't. But the ones that do, they actually benefit really well and are able to set up the LLC. They have their website set up, and they're actually able to feel confident that they're going to start doing this thing. So,
what kind of feedback do you get from women that you help, whether it be single moms or what have you? What kind of feedback do you get from you're being very kind, in offering your time, your skill set, your resources, to help women launch and really basically run their businesses? What kind of feedback do you get?
Well, when I first did that, the raffle, one of the ladies at my event, she actually broke down in tears. And I was just like, oh my God, this is like really impacting her life, because maybe she wanted to actually get this thing going, but just didn't have the funds. So here it is now, it's being given, raffled to her, and she's able to just go ahead and just get it done. And I could see that it's something that's going to help her life, as well as her family's life.
So once you help them launch and set up their business, do you follow them along throughout the process? Are you a resource throughout the longevity of their business in a sense?
Yes, I am a resource throughout, providing strategies. I have a nonprofit boot camp that's coming out, and this is for the organization that is this recently started up. Most of them don't know where to go. So this boot camp is going to help them, take their organization to the next level. So reaching out to funders, being strong in the funder's eye, because a lot of times organizations want to just go out there, grab the grants, but the funder is looking at them as, okay, so what do you have to back up what you're saying? Right. So what my strategies is teaching them is how to back up what they're saying so that they look stronger in the eyes of funders and they're granted these funds to make a difference.
Awesome. And then you have a flyer here. What's is it for your business or for an event?
This is actually for my business.
Okay.
So this is some of the services that I provide, grant writing at its finest. So we're talking about startups, fundraising, grant writing. Grant writing is one of the main services that we provide, and that's where the name came from, because that's what the service, the first service was helping them receive grants.
So you help nonprofits. You also help you have business services, business startups, business plans, credit repair services as well. Founder, CEO, look at you, helping you make a difference. I love this, and I love that you were inspired to. I mean, you know, it's like you turned your, you know, you were basically giving your skill set, and you took the opportunity to help others. You could have just been like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on my nonprofit right now. Sorry, ladies.
Exactly, right.
You can go to the website I went to. I'll just send you a couple of links, but you really,
There's
you know.
so many steps, and some of them don't know, you know, so, and especially when it comes to different states, because I do work with organizations outside of California. Majority of my clients are in other states. So it's also researching what those particular states require, yeah.
So based on their status, you know, basically they have to have different forms or
Different forms,
deadlines
different
and
different
processes.
deadlines, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was just amazing. I have an Ask Chundria letter for you. You mind answering some questions today for me?
Okay.
Okay. The letter says, Dear Chundria, my 8-year-old daughter has a new best friend at school and often asks if she can have sleepovers and play dates. I really don't mind, but I really don't mind, but I would like to establish a better relationship with the girl's mother first. I've made several attempts to talk to her at their school, but she was not very receptive to conversation and was very dismissive. I'm not sure if she has an attitude or what, but I would like to be cordial since our daughters are good friends. Should I let it go or try a little harder?
I would say try a little harder, because we just don't know what's going on with that person. And I would approach it with maybe sending a little card with her daughter to give to the other girl, to give to the mom, and saying, you know, introducing herself, hey, I'm so-and-so, our kids are friends, you know, my daughter wants to do a sleepover, here's my number, contact me whenever, let's discuss. It's really great to build a relationship with the other parent. My son, right now, he's actually at the fair with one of the friends that he met at 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I've built a relationship with that mom along with 2 other moms. We were all single moms at the time, and we just kind of like all built this relationship where we can depend on one another. Our kids can sleep at each other's house, and we feel safe. So she wants to build a relationship, and she should just reach out a little bit harder since the kids already have built a bond together. Just reach out with a card, maybe just introducing herself, you know, giving her contact number. Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Don't let it go. Try a little harder.
It's a little harder, yeah.
Hey, I am so excited about my interview today with Carolyn Chanese. Welcome.
Thank you.
How
Thank you
are
for
you
having
doing?
me. I am blessed and highly favored.
Yes, you are.
I am. I've been stretched out of my comfort zone for sure, but it has been the most beautiful time of my life. That is definitely the honest truth.
Congratulations on
Thank
all of your
you.
success. Singer, songwriter,
Thank
artist,
you.
Woman of the Year. You are making moves.
I'm trying.
Pushing through and definitely
Yeah.
inspiring people around you to keep pushing through. So
Absolutely.
thanks for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So today we're talking all about Confliction, her new single and her real life.
Seriously.
So singer, songwriter, all-powerful woman. Tell me another interesting thing about yourself.
I love taking on challenges. I don't take the easy road. I don't take what seems to be convenient. I would actually prefer to take the hard road or the road that no one really takes, you know.
Road less traveled.
Right, absolutely. Even when it comes to certain things that, you know, the world likes to categorize as like a men's job or something like that, I love to take it on as a challenge. Like, no, I can do that too. So I think that is one thing that's really interesting about me, because I realize, especially being my age, you know, a lot of people my age, no one wants to do the work or take, you know, the long road. They would prefer to take the shortcuts. And I'm like, no, I don't need a good thing. I need a God thing, because that will be more sufficient and efficient. So
You go, girl.
thank you.
Let's talk about the title of your song, lyrics, and inspiration behind the single Confliction, which you just launched 8/18, which is also your birthday. So happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you.
Tell me about the title, the lyrics, and the song.
Okay, so the title, of course, is Confliction. The lyrics to the hook of the song, of course, the hook is the most repetitious part of the song. So the words to that is, don't want you, don't need you, but I can have you. Don't want you, don't need you, because they didn't had you. And so basically what that means is, again, it's like I really feel like it's geared towards the millennial. If I'm willing to settle for less, or if I'm willing to be okay with a man dealing with several women, or just dealing with things that I know that I'm more of, if that makes sense. That's the lyrics really of Confliction. It's kind of like spirit versus flesh. Like, you know, when you know better, so you do better, but at the same time, you have those moments where you're human, you know, and it's like, dang, God, I know you're going to show me some grace,
or when
you know.
some days it's easier than others,
right,
or stronger than others.
Right.
A weekday versus a strong day.
That's how Confliction came about as far as the lyrics. So that was the title, the lyrics, and what was the last one?
The title, the lyrics, and the story. Like, what's the inspiration behind it? Is it about someone? We want to know.
I won't say about someone. I'll just say, you know, I'll be honest, like I write all of my music based off of a lot of things that I experienced in my life. And I've just got to that point where I'm just like, okay, you know, I've been celibate, and then I've gotten tired, and then I'm like, okay, God, well, people around me, like, you show them grace and they're still being blessed, but then I go back and forth where I'm conflicted because I'm like, I know better than to be comparing myself to other people. You know, my purpose is different in life. So yeah, after a little situation in my life, that's how Confliction came about. And
So it's a little personal back in there.
a little bit.
We won't give that person credit. So whoever that is.
Doesn't even matter.
What does a single represent for you, and how does it resonate with you in real life?
Okay. So Confliction represents breakthrough for me. Definitely. Breakthrough and new beginnings. Reaching the unknown and the impossible. Resonates with me because I literally live and walk by faith life now, where I had to completely trust God and have faith in Him, and trust Him with my talents, my gifts, with my heart's desires, just with everything. So Confliction, like I said, I released that on my birthday, and I have in the past, a bad reputation of starting things and not finishing. So Confliction, I was like, you know, I'm getting this out by any means necessary. I don't care what it takes. I know it's going to take blood, sweat, tears, money. I just want it to be in the right place. So
for me, it feels like, because I listen to the song and I love it.
Thank you.
Like, it feels to me, from what I heard, like the beauty of the struggle. You know, is what I hear. It's like, yeah, I may toggle between, like, mentally, I'm toggling between different decisions, because you could kind of take that in career-wise, relationships. I guess a lot of things that you could be conflicted in. So it's like, yeah, I may teeter, but I'm still moving forward.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what I hear.
I agree with that, and I'm glad that you were able to receive that, because I feel as though, especially on social media, it's so easy for people to share when things are great, and, you know, when they're at the peak of something, but not very many people share when they're going through something, or when they really don't want to be transparent, but however,
the struggle.
Exactly, you know, and it's like, you feel as though, well, they're going to think this, or whatever the case, but not really knowing how many people can be healed through that, or can receive a breakthrough, you know, by you sharing your testimony. So I'm trying to be more transparent and, you know, not say everything. I'm not going to just put all my business out there, but when I feel led, to just be a little bit more transparent, you know, even in the bad times or the not so good times, you know.
So this single was like that first step out to being transparent for you.
Absolutely, to be transparent, to be who I know I'm called to be, to die to procrastination, because that is just,
it's over.
It's over.
You got the
single
done.
God, it's time.
You
like,
released
it's time.
it on the date that you selected, which was your birthday, which I'm sure speaks volumes for you as well.
Absolutely.
So you're around the sun, and you released this single. I'm excited. What's in
you.
store for this new chapter of music, and who did you work with?
So what's in store, I'm working on my first EP, and I'm actually entitling that Breakthrough.
Love it.
It's either going to be Breakthrough or Breakout. It all depends. I am creating a team, and once, you know, we all go through everything, we will decide if it will be Breakthrough or Breakout.
The team you worked through on the single, will they work on the EP as well?
I do think that I will use a few of their beats. and they are called Inner Circle Records.
Okay.
It's a group of 4 individuals. I worked side by side with a guy named Novi. He produced the track. There's a guy named LZ the God. He made the beat. And then Funch, he works with the team as well. He does the marketing and he does some of the background work with that. So
a good team.
yeah, they've been great. They've been great. So I definitely know I am planning to reach out to more people, but I will be using them on the EP as well.
I'm excited about the new EP. Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to that. Who do you make music for? Like, who do you target or demo?
The world, for sure.
Okay. Not
Definitely
ladies,
the world.
but the world.
I feel like it all depends on whatever song
You
that
know you're
is.
singing for the ladies.
Like, I definitely am all for my
You're
women.
making the
Like,
anthems for the ladies.
Yes, I realize too, like a lot of my songs, I'm like, oh my gosh, like girl, every song can't be a women's anthem. But I feel as though for the women, I feel as though for the millennial adults, you know, I feel as though my gospel music and stuff like that is like children appropriate. But if I'll be completely honest, it's kind of like, probably I would say if I had to choose like an age bracket, probably 18 to whatever, 18 and up. We'll just put it there. 18 and up.
That age
for
where
sure.
you're going through stuff, you're dealing
Absolutely.
with stuff.
Really, really seriously after like 24, 25.
Where you have to figure things out on your own.
Absolutely. And
I
you
got
really get to figure out for yourself who you want to be. Do you want to be who your family wants you to be? Do you want to be who your friends want you to be? Do you want to be who the industry wants you to be? You know, so I'm like, okay, kind of like figuring this thing out, with just God and myself. Of course, I love my family, my friends, but I've kind of had to back up from everything and everybody so that I can just hear from God and God only right now.
And that's how you were able to get this project done?
Absolutely.
You just kind of isolated. Okay. What real experiences have you overcome through your love of creating and performing music?
Ooh, I have overcome a lot of obstacles with the industry, with creating music, being a female, being a woman of God, just different things. You experience different levels of different things in the industry. I've worked with Snoop Dogg. I've worked with several people in the industry, and I think one of the most common situations that I've had to face is probably not receiving the respect that I'm asking for. Whether that be time or space or even finance or not being just considered just as talent and not just a curvy body and so many other different things.
Well, congratulations. Keep
Thank
up the
you
amazing
so
work. I can't wait to
much. I
continue to watch
appreciate
your
you.
journey. You're a beautiful spirit and you deserve everything you're going after. Okay?
Same. Congratulations to you too for everything. I am Carolyn, Chanese, singer-songwriter, and you're watching The Chundria Show.
Visit us online at chundriashow.com.